Could Bo Nix really win Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Oh, snap, snap, snap.
What's up, everybody? Back with you, another episode, The Seth Floyd Show, talking Bo Nix, Offensive Rookie of the Year odds and playoff odds for a couple teams. Real quick though, don't forget our drawing, okay? Subscribe, comment somewhere on one of my videos, this video. Tell me who you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year. Chance to win an actual signed LaDainian Tomlinson trading card. Okay, as cool as it gets. It's authenticated. I'll send it to you in the nice plastic case that it comes in. Okay, very cool. Also, sign up for Patreon. If you sign up and sign up for the $5 a month subscription, okay, I'll give you triple entries for a chance to win this. We'll also have some more exclusive Patreon stuff coming up for people who sign up. So awesome. Here we go. I think I have realized that I'm going to be wrong about Bo Nix. Like, I'm wrong in a lot of ways about Bo Nix. And shout out to my dad, who was the first one to tell me that I was wrong about Bo Nix. I did not see this coming. Now, what I'm talking about is, if you're a football fan, you've been paying attention over preseason. It's not what preseason is for. Preseason 100% is all about just watching the rookie quarterbacks. Now, if you're like me, you're watching all the rookies on your favorite team, trying to figure out who might be a diamond in the rough. But if you're watching other games, it's most likely because you're looking at the rookie quarterbacks. And man, Bo Nix was very good in his preseason game against Green Bay. And I think there's a few reasons for that. I was worried, so like Bo Nix being the last quarterback to be taken in the first round, it felt like the Broncos were so desperate. They were just taking the guy that was left, who was like considered to possibly be a franchise guy, maybe. It just feels like most of the time that is a recipe for disaster. You're taking the fifth best quarterback in the draft. Now, you listen to Sean Payton when they drafted him, definitely didn't view Bo Nix as the fifth best. I thought he was lying, as coaches do all the time, by the way. If you don't know that, coaches lie all the time in the press.
There's only one thing I hate more than lying. Skim milk, which is water that's lying about being milk.
And I think I know why I'm wrong about Bo Nix, okay? So let's start there. I think I have underestimated the value of playing time, experience, okay? You guys, so many people are tired of Brock Purdy. He's such a polarizing figure. I'm a 49er fan, so I'm a Brock Purdy believer. And why has Brock been so good in the NFL? Outside of, I get it, he plays with the Avengers. He plays with a rock star offensive coordinator / head coach, like as far as an offensive scheme goes, okay? But what has prepared him to be ready? What has made him a better quarterback? Whatever. Maybe that's not the best example. Why he's had so much success early on, in my opinion, is the amount of games he played at Iowa State. Okay? Look at the biggest difference between him and Trey Lance is just that. Okay? Brock Purdy had so many games under his belt playing at Iowa State, and he elevated that program. That's another tell. He put that program in a place it had never been before. Okay? He really changed it. Their coach, Coach Campbell, has talked about that. Trey Lance had one amazing season, threw for like 29 touchdowns and 0 interceptions at North Dakota State, and that was it. Not that much experience, and it showed once he got into the game. Well, Bo Nix is kind of in a similar situation. Okay, he played 5 full seasons in college. Okay, that COVID year, he played 3 at Auburn, played 2 at Oregon, 5 full seasons. That's 61 total games. He didn't play a full season in every season, but it came out to 61 total games. Okay, over his 5-year career, he's got over 15,000 passing yards. And at Oregon alone, the last 2 seasons, which you could argue are the most relevant because of the most recent, his 2 seasons at Oregon, he threw 74 touchdown passes. He's got a 66 completion percentage, career completion percentage. 66%, you'll take that all day. Okay, you'll take that all day. My point is I underestimated how high Bo Nix's floor would be. His floor is much, much higher than I anticipated, and it's because of his experience in college. Okay, were his numbers a little bit inflated at Oregon? Of course, they had a really good offensive system going. If you play some bad teams here and there, your numbers in college can be inflated very easily. And I probably, as a mistake, I was wrong. Okay. just dismissed it that it's one of those offenses that can make a guy look really good. I've been sitting here. I didn't watch the Broncos tape live. I saw a lot of the highlights. I watched a lot of what Chase Daniel, he did a breakdown, like a 16-minute breakdown of it, and you can see, oh, this guy is no joke. Now I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not gonna go Colin Cowherd crazy. And his take, this is Colin's thing, so fine. He has to have like real big takes. His take was he thinks that Bo Nix is gonna be the best quarterback from this draft, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility. If you told me that a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I would have said you're crazy. I was really low on him. I think after watching some of this film and then watching Chase Daniel break it down, you can see, oh, he has the makings of being a very successful quarterback. So I just want to leave it at that. Like, I'm not going to tell you he's the best. I'm not going to tell you the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl this year. I'm just saying his floor is much higher than I thought. And he looks like he's on a really good trajectory, and he plays with Sean Payton, which is always good if you're a quarterback. He looks athletic, more athletic probably than I thought. But the two biggest things is one, and it's a small sample size against the Packers number 2s. I get it, but this is what you want to see. Okay, this is what you want to see. He plays on schedule and gets the ball out on time. That's like important. In fact, that's the most important thing. Okay. In the media, we love the highlight plays. I'm going to get to that here in a second. We love the off-script, off-balance throws, highlight plays. Those are great. Those are necessary. But if you ask any coach, you want them to play on time and on schedule and get the ball out quick within the confines of the system. 10 out of 10, all these 32 out of 32 offensive coordinators in the NFL will tell you that. They will take that over the guy who really excels playing off script but struggles making the basic reads. Guys, again, I'm not trying to bring Brock Purdy into this like I always do, but like that's his superpower. He plays on time. And guess what? He's really successful because he does that just about as well as anybody. Okay? Plays off script too a little bit, whatever. It's not a Brock Purdy thing. But what I'm seeing from Bo Nix is he gets the ball out on time. He knows where he's going. He knows where his eyes are supposed to be, and he delivers. He trusts what he's seeing. Okay, are you guys playing NCAA 25? I love NCAA 25. Great game. Even when I'm playing that game, and I know it's a dumb video game, but like I'm not always trusting what I'm saying. I'm scared because if you've played, you know, pick city. Okay, especially when you first start playing on Heisman, like you are throwing pick after pick. So I'm not trusting I don't know if this is a good comparison. So it's just obvious when you watch Bo Nix, he knows what he's seeing. His eyes are in the right place, and he's just delivering. He's not like, oh, I think that guy's open, but I don't want to throw a pick. Like he's just dude's open, bam, get rid of the ball. Watch the breakdowns. Like you can just see it. You can see it. Doesn't mean he's gonna be perfect. Doesn't mean he's never gonna second guess himself. But so far it looks good. Okay, he has the arm strength. Got good zip on the ball, and then there's plays where he plays off script a little bit, where he can move. He uses his legs, big body guy. Like I like what I'm seeing. Now let's talk about. Why is my chair stuck? There we go. Let's talk about offensive rookie of the year. The top 5 betting odds right now via DraftKings. Side note, DraftKings, you want to sponsor me? That'd be awesome. Play a lot of DraftKings, guys, actually. I'm not like a huge gambler, but I love looking at the odds of stuff. I like daily fantasy. I'm playing a lot of the free games, just trying to make money off those free games. You're going to like win a quarter. It's awesome. Not in a position to be gambling my future away with some of this stuff, but it's fun to look at, and I love looking at the betting odds. I think it's good insight into what you're going to see each week. Anyway, according to DraftKings, the offensive rookie of the year odds are 1, Caleb Williams at plus 135, Jaden Daniels at 2, plus 475. 3, Marvin Harrison Jr. at plus 650. Bo Nix is at 4 at plus 1,000. And then you got Malik Neighbors at plus 1,100. Now, what would it realistically take for Bo Nix to win Offensive Rookie of the Year? Well, the easiest route would be this. This is like as simple as I could say it. I'm putting stats aside at the moment. It would mean easiest path. The path of least resistance would be both Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels both miss the playoffs, and Bo Nix makes the playoffs. That's the clearest path. I won't say easiest path, the clearest path. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's look at it. Let's just look at it first. Caleb, like what's crazy is Caleb was the number 1 overall pick, but he's probably going into the best situation from a roster standpoint. The Bears at the end of the year weren't bad. Defensively, they were pretty good. They had some hard-fought games. Now you add in Caleb Williams with a stout defense. They traded for Keenan Allen. They signed DeAndre Swift. The Bears are a decent squad. They're a good squad. Now, and I've talked about them. Like, I don't think they're going to win the North, but I don't think it's a 0% chance that they would win the North. Like, I think you could see a scenario where it kind of comes down to the last week and all three teams are 10-7 or 10-6 and somehow the Bears win the tiebreaker. I don't think that's going to happen, but like I'm pretty high on the Bears. But let's look at some of the criticism of Caleb Williams over this weekend. Everyone was high flying about Caleb Williams. He has some incredible off-script plays, and I'm coming back to this because this is the point I'm making. He has some incredible off-script plays and throwing dimes where he's like off balance. Incredible. He's as talented as anybody. Some people, though, were bringing up, like, can we see some highlights of him playing on script? Now, I am not saying he doesn't play on script. I'm just saying most of the highlights I've seen, and maybe there's others out there, but most of the highlights you see from USC and that you see from early returns on the Chicago Bears stuff is him playing off script. And as I said before, the most successful quarterbacks in the NFL play on script. Tom Brady played on script. Peyton Manning played on script. Both of those dudes knew exactly where the ball needed to go, and they got it out in time. Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as the greatest quarterback of all time because he can do both. He can play on script and he can play off script, and he does them as good as anybody. That's why he's going to be so good. But if Pat Mahomes could not play on script, he would be limited. So what I'm saying is maybe a scenario where the Bears don't make the playoffs, which again, even if Caleb is really good, there's a chance they won't make the playoffs. Okay, the Bears are still the Bears. They haven't proven anything. But I'm just saying, what if Caleb doesn't win it because, like halfway through the season, we see limitations, like he's more of an off-script guy. He's still learning how to process. He's still learning to get the ball out on time. I don't think that's the case, but it's a fair criticism. Like every highlight I've seen so far is him doing something crazy off-script. So maybe that's the case. Maybe Caleb needs to work on that a little bit. I don't know. I don't think there's enough data to really say that definitively, but like I get what people are saying. That's what they want to see. Jaden Daniels, okay, I think if Washington made the playoffs, that would be a huge shock. And if Washington makes the playoffs, then Jaden really deserves to be in that conversation of Offensive Rookie of the Year. But let's just be honest. If Caleb takes the Bears to the playoffs, he's winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't imagine a scenario. Even if all three of these quarterbacks I'm talking about right now make the playoffs, while I would argue, like, guys, Washington making it or Denver making it, that's like way more impressive than Chicago making it. Like, let's take a look at this. He is leading in the odds right now. He has the draft capital of the number 1 overall pick. For some reason, that matters to everybody like a ton. He would win it. That's my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see a scenario though where Washington makes the playoffs. I think Jaden Daniels is good. He's got Scary Terry to throw to, which is great. They're lacking in a lot of other areas in Washington. And I've said, even on the last video, I said Washington is going to be a lot better than they were last year. But that doesn't mean they're going to make the playoffs. I'd be shocked if they did. But I think they're going to be one of those tough. They're going to be like the Cardinals of last year. Cardinals who were like not good by any means, but man, they beat a couple teams they shouldn't, and it was like a hard-fought game every time. And I think that's what you're going to see. That's what I think you're going to see with Washington. So I wouldn't count on them making it. Your bigger worry, if you're a Broncos fan and if you really care about Bo Nix winning Offensive Rookie of the Year, is you need Caleb to miss the playoffs. You need both those guys too. Now, Marvin Harrison Jr., I guess could win it. It's just tough, man, because the quarterback plays, the weight of importance and significance of the quarterback position is just so much more important than the receiver. But Marvin Harrison Jr. is supposed to be the best receiver product to come out since, I don't even know, Calvin Johnson. Like, I don't know. Like, the hype around Marvin Harrison Jr. is out of this world, and I'm not. Maybe it's justified. I don't know. I guess we'll know once they start playing games. For Marvin Harrison Jr. to win it, he would have to. It's not so much about making the playoffs because he's not a quarterback, though. That would help his case. He's got to hit 1,200 yards and 10 plus touchdowns, and then Caleb missing the playoffs, like that kind of thing. I don't think that's going to happen because I'm really high on Caleb and Jaden and now Bo Nix, and everyone's going to gravitate towards the quarterbacks. That's what I think. But that's how Marvin Harrison Jr. would do it. Those guys miss the playoffs. He has 1,200, 1,300 yards and 10 plus touchdowns, like 100 catches, like has like a Pro Bowl, All-Pro season, yeah, like he probably would be very deserving to at least be in the topic of discussion there. Now, for the Broncos to make the playoffs, it just feels like such a long shot, okay? Sorry, Broncos fans, okay, that are going to come at me with this. I have a hard time seeing it, but it's not impossible, and I'm definitely higher on it now after watching Bo Nix. But realistically, look at it. You play in a tougher conference. I think, when I say that, and we said that last year, but like top to bottom, like the NFC conference ended up being a lot better last year. If Green Bay is still ascending, if the Lions don't drop off, if the Bears are ascending as well, the Falcons look a lot better. I mean, like the conference is a lot better than what people probably give it credit for. But regardless, like I think the general consensus is the best quarterbacks are all in the AFC, and it's going to be hard to make the playoffs. You have to win 10 games, and that's not even a guarantee, it feels like, in the AFC this year to get into the playoffs. So let's say you got to win 10 games, okay? If you're going to win 10 games, let's just do the math, and I'll look at the schedule here in a second. I got it right here on my old computer. Maybe Josh is the man, by the way. Josh freaking rocks. Crushing it. I've been looking thinner. He stopped all those shenanigans of making me look fat, and then he's just been crushing it with the edits. Maybe he'll bring up some of their schedule. That would be cool, Josh, if you want to do that, or do whatever you want, bro. I don't care. Do what you want, man. Live your life. Don't let your little brother tell you what to do. You never have, and I don't think you ever will. To realistically win 10 games, let's be generous. Let's say the Broncos win half their division games. So let's say you beat Denver twice. Excuse me, they are Denver. They beat the Raiders twice. Okay, I'm really down on the Raiders this year. Let's say you beat them twice, and then you take one game from the Chiefs or one game from the Chargers. Now, Broncos fans, you're looking at me right now. I know what you're thinking, because everyone does this. You're saying, Seth Floyd, we're going to beat the Raiders twice, and we're going to beat the Chargers twice, because the Chargers are not going to be very good. Which, fine, if that's your opinion, that's a possibility, but I think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be good. Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, the Jim Harbaugh effect, and man, they're going to run the ball and play tough defense. Like, they're going to be a stout team. So that's whatever. But I'm just saying, you need to find 3 wins in the division. And really, you probably need 4 when you look at it. But let's give you 3, and then I'm looking at the schedule. Okay? You need to find 7 other wins if you get 3 in the division. Okay? Let's look at possible wins. Okay? And we'll count them out. Seattle, week 1 in Seattle. That's a possibility. I'm down on Seattle. I think they're going to finish last in the division. Down on Seattle because I'm down on Geno Smith. The Steelers are definitely a possibility to beat them at home. Don't feed me the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields stuff. I'm a non-believer. They got issues, okay? You got George Pickens, great. What offensive weapons do you have in Pittsburgh? Maybe Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is not taking Justin Fields or Russell Wilson over the hump, though, Pittsburgh fans. So that's 2 possible ones. At Tampa Bay, that's possible. Tampa's not a hard place to play. I don't know. They were the division winners last year. They only won 9 games, so that's a possibility. Probably not the Jets, so I'm at 3. In New York, that's a tough one. I'm not giving you the Jets one. We've already covered division games, so I'm going to skip over the division games. You need 4 more. At the Saints, yes. I don't think the Saints are going to be all that great. Possibility. I'm not saying it's a lock for you guys to win, but it's definitely possible. Sean Payton returning to New Orleans, like that's a fun game. Home against Carolina, that better be a win. If you're not beating Carolina at home, middle of the season, you're not going to the playoffs, okay? So I'm at 5. I'm at 5 outside of division wins. You need to find 2 more, and this is where it gets tough. You got the Ravens, like probably not. I'm not saying it can't happen, but you're playing in Baltimore, okay? Probably not. We're skipping division. You got the Falcons at home, and that's going to be a tough one. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's going to be tough because the Falcons are going to be good. Look at my last video. They're going to be all right, okay? But that's at home, so maybe that's 6. It's not a guarantee. You get the Browns at home. That's not a guarantee. The Browns are going to have a really good defense. They're going to have a really good defense like they always do. The AFC North plays these other outside of division teams really good because they're all really tough. They play really physical defense, but possibly the Browns, and then you get the Colts at home. That's probably, so really the ones I feel like you should probably win, you're probably like 6, 5 or 6. Maybe the Browns, but like 6 is what I'm landing on. Then you got the Bengals on the road before you finish at home against the Chiefs. I don't think you're beating the Bengals on the road that late in the year. So you're kind of hovering around, in my opinion, you're in the 8 to 10 win range. If you can get 4 wins in the division, then you only need 6 out of the division to get 10. And it's possible, but it's an uphill climb. It's going to be an uphill climb. But I'm much higher. If a week ago, 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about the Broncos, I would have told you you've got like a 5% chance to make the playoffs. Now it feels higher. Now you're probably in like the 20%, 25%. Again, sorry, Bronco fans, like I'm not higher. This video wasn't about you guys making the playoffs. It's more about Bo Nix. I have a hard time seeing it, but injuries could happen. Maybe the Chargers aren't as good. Maybe Joe Burrow doesn't bounce back, or maybe the Ravens have a real tail off. I'm just thinking of other teams you'll be competing with for that last wild card spot. I don't really believe in the Jaguars, so maybe you really just jump them. It's possible, but I would not bet on it. I would not bet on it. Actually, let's look it up. Let's look at, can we get playoff odds? I've got DraftKings up right now. Let's look at it. NFL. You are like second to last. Oh man, DraftKings is really not high on the Broncos. So wow, even worse than I am. They have you at plus 600, the only team. Wow, the Panthers have better odds to make the playoffs. Am I looking at this right? That seems crazy to me. The Panthers have better odds, maybe because they play in such a bad division. But you've got the Broncos at plus 600. Let's look at the Chargers now that I'm just got it open. Plus 110. Yeah, they're pretty high. The Bears are minus 110. Yeesh. Washington's plus 260. So anyway, I think they're wrong. They give the Raiders better odds to make the playoffs at plus 300. You guys have better odds than them. I do not believe in the Raiders. But point is, this is going to be an uphill battle to make the playoffs. But that's okay. If you guys, Broncos fans, realistically, I think Bo Nix, it's starting to look like he is the right long-term guy. Okay? It looks like paired with Sean Payton, he is the real deal. So what does that mean for this year? Well, we'll say you guys win 7 or 8 games. I'm not sure how many you won last year, but let's say you win 8 games. Okay, and Bo Nix has like a really strong season. Maybe he goes 28 touchdowns, 12 picks, 4,000 yards. And so then going into 2025, you're like, hey, Bo Nix, second year, we're coming. Like, you should feel very excited, even if you don't make the playoffs. But that's what it'll take for Bo Nix to win the offensive rookie of the year. He needs both Caleb and Jaden to miss the playoffs. He's got to make the playoffs somehow. I would bet against it. I think Caleb Williams is as close to a lock as you could for being offensive rookie of the year. But I'm wrong. I'm wrong all the time. I was wrong about Bo Nix to start, so who knows? But that would be my bet. But regardless if he wins it or not, you have a lot to be excited about, Broncos fans. A lot to be excited about. And it should be a fun season. The more competitive teams, the better. It's not good for the NFL to have bottom feeder teams. You guys with Russell Wilson were just a tough watch, and I'm excited to watch Bo Nix going forward. I think that's it. Josh, what else we got, bro? Anything? I don't know. Guys, if you want a chance to win, subscribe. We got to get to 100 subscribers before I really think about sending this out. We're only at like 53, so if you're getting impatient, send it to your friends. Just send my page to your friends, to your mom, to your grandma. Make fake accounts and double, how would I know? How would I know? Just make a bunch of fake accounts and subscribe, and then you double, triple, quadruple to the 10th, whatever I'm trying to say, chances of winning the card. I would really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I'm out. This is my lunch break is about over, so I got to get it popping, but you guys are awesome. Football's almost here. Be excited. See ya.